Hey, Josh, could you help me out by doing some dishes?
Yeah, love you.
Love you too. Hey, Josh, could you help me out by folding some of this laundry?
Of course, babe. I love you.
Love you too. Hey, Josh, have you done your kids' church video yet?
What?
Your kids' church video, have you done it yet?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go do that.
Okay, guys, sorry about that. So this week, we're going to be looking at John chapter 21, 1 through 19. Now, just give you a little bit of context about what's going on. So in John chapter 21, Jesus has already died on the cross and has already been resurrected. So everyone knows that Jesus has now defeated the dead. And this is a time in the Bible that Jesus is going around to his disciples and people that follow him and telling them the good news and also giving them instructions on how to live life after he is gone, after he's returned back to God in heaven. So in John chapter 21, we come to Peter, Thomas, Nathaniel, James, John, and two other disciples who are fishing all night. You've probably heard the story. They've been fishing all night, and morning comes, and they haven't caught anything. And this man appears on the shore. We know it's Jesus, but they don't, and says, "Hey, cast your nets to the right side." They don't think he's right, but they go ahead and do it, and lo and behold, they fill up their nets with fish to the point where their boat's almost breaking. And instead of marveling at this fish, Peter recognizes that this is Jesus. So he does the logical thing and jumps overboard and swims to shore to Jesus. Okay, so everything comes together. Peter and Jesus reunite, and it's a happy meeting. And Jesus invites them to breakfast where they cook the fish that they just caught. And they're all sitting and talking. And Jesus turns to Peter after they're finished eating and says, "Peter, do you love me?" And Peter goes, "Well, yes, Lord, you know I love you." "Feed my lambs," Jesus told him. Okay, that's a little odd. Jesus doesn't have any lambs, but Jesus said again, "Peter, do you love me?" Peter says, "Yes, Lord, you know I love you." "Shepherd my sheep." Same response. And again, for a third time, Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" And Peter was deeply sad that Jesus asked him for a third time and says, "Lord, you know everything and you know I love you. Feed my sheep," Jesus says. Now, if you're sitting there wondering why does Jesus tell Peter the same thing three different times? To basically take care of his sheep, to feed them, to lead them, to take care of them. And what Peter doesn't realize is that Jesus doesn't mean sheep. And Jesus explains this to him. When Jesus says to take care of his sheep, he means to take care of his people. Now, this has a couple different meanings here. First of all, like I said, Jesus is telling Peter to take care of his people, but he's also calling back to another time. See, just a little while ago, at the Last Supper, Jesus tells Peter, "Peter, are you going to follow me?" And Peter says, "Yes, Lord, to the ends of the earth." And Jesus said, "But tonight you're going to deny me. You're going to say you don't believe in me three times, all before a rooster crows." Peter says, "Oh, I'll never do that." Well, guess what happens? He denies Jesus. He tells people and this is during when Jesus is being beaten and broken during a trial. Peter says, "I don't know him." Once, twice, and another time. He says each time, "I do not know him. Leave me alone." And on the third time, a rooster crows. And Peter is distraught by this. He realizes Jesus knows that he knew that Peter would deny him and knew that this would happen. And it's interesting because just like Jesus asking 3 times, Peter, do you love me? The first 3 times, Peter had said, oh, I don't know him. I don't know him. The first 3 times, back when Jesus was still dying on the cross, Peter said 3 times, I don't know him. And this time, he's having to say 3 times that he loves Jesus. It's almost like Jesus is going, hey, okay, Peter, I see that you say you love me, okay? But that's not going to be enough, okay? I see that you say you love me, but I don't want you to just say you love me. I want you to feed my sheep, okay? Well, Peter's heart is in the right place. He's saying he loves them, but Jesus still doesn't want you to just say you love him or to just love him, okay? Even though those are all important, and it is very important to do those things, what Jesus wants, what God wants, is for us to use all of that and do all of that with helping people, with doing things to show Jesus that we love him. Now, one of these things is not good. Just 2 of these things is not good. You can't just say you love Jesus, or you can't in your heart love Jesus and do things to take care of people, but never tell people about Jesus. You have to be doing all these things. So be thinking about how you can do this in your own life. What are some ways that, are you just saying that you love Jesus? Or are you just in your heart knowing you love Jesus but not doing anything about it or telling people about him? Or are you just doing good things and really haven't opened your heart to Jesus and say you love Jesus? Those are all things we need to be thinking about. And Peter getting asked 3 times really drives that home to him to say, hey, Peter, it's not just enough to say you love me. It's not just enough to love me. You have to do those things and love people, and by loving people, you'll love me.
So it sounds like Jesus was trying to get Peter to do more than just say he loves him. He was trying to get him to show that he loves him too. And that, again, that's like we talked about, that's kind of what it means to be a Christian. But I just realized something, guys. I just kind of did a Peter with Miss Cartwright, with Miss Caitlin. She was asking me to do stuff, and all I was saying was that I loved her. So you know what? Here's what I want you to do. This week, I want you to make a list, okay? So there's your homework for this week. I want you to make a list. I want 3 things on there that you can do to show your mom, dad, or someone else that you love them. Something you can do, okay? Now, again, remember, saying I love you is great, and you need to do that. Show people and tell them that you love them. But it doesn't go very far without actually doing stuff and doing things to show them you love them. Okay, that could be getting them a present, doing an extra chore, or just even spending time with them. Okay, so 3 things to help to show someone in your family you love them, but also 3 things that you can do to show God that you love him, and Jesus that you love him. What did Jesus say to Peter for him to do? Yeah, that's right. Feed his sheep. And remember what feed the sheep means? Okay, so while you do that, I'm going to go and do the dishes and the laundry like I told Miss Caitlin. Okay? All right, so that's it for Kids Church this week, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.